Hi guys, I'm Malini. Welcome to the first ever episode of Malini's Girl Tribe. I'm so excited that I'm finally getting to kick off this show because it truly is a piece of my heart. Girl Tribe started as a Facebook group just a safe space for women to talk about what's on their minds. And it's turned into a movement that has changed my life. Also, the tribe has changed how I use social media. Instead of aimlessly scrolling through Instagram and getting buried 9 lives deep into cat videos, I wake up every day excited to see what the tribe has to say. I feel so much more aware of my place in the world and the people in this group. So let's go, Girl Tribe.
More power to all the girls out there, a part of MissMalini's Girl Tribe.
On this episode, I'm going to be telling you what we've been talking about on the Girl Tribe, so you can join the conversation. For instance, marriage. Does it have to be the natural next step for women? Should women give up their careers when they have children? The tribe feels strongly about this one. Also, there's a special guest on the show. She's a dear friend of mine and a mega boss lady over at BuzzFeed India, the absolutely awesome Rega Jha. But first, I wanted to tell you about something special we're gonna do. You know, there's so many women in this tribe who inspire me, women who have faced life's worst challenges. To me, these girls are warriors, and warriors have a very special place on this show and in my heart. Here's the story of our very first warrior. I have no doubt her struggle will touch your soul. So listen carefully, and after that, there's a special message for her from a very special friend of mine. Bhavna Dwivedi's story was a fairy tale. She had a happy childhood, grew up and married a smart army officer, and they enjoyed 14 years of a warm and happy marriage with 2 beautiful daughters. However, her fairy tale came crashing down one morning when she was notified that her husband, the love of her life, had sacrificed his life in the line of duty. Life, as Bhavna knew it, was over. She was lost, alone, scared of being unable to give her children the life they deserved. But one day, as she was looking at them, she remembered what her husband had always told her, that she was special and could do anything. She decided it was time to prove it, and she never looked back. Her journey has not been an easy one, but even though she fell many times, she got up, stronger each time, because, as her husband said, she truly is special. She is a warrior. Here's what a very special friend of mine had to say.
Hi Bhavna, this is Ranveer. I heard the story of how you braved the odds and raised your 2 children by yourself. Very, very inspiring story. And thank you for sharing it, and sending you all my love and best wishes for everything.
Thank you so much, Bhavna, for sharing your incredibly inspiring story. What a warrior you are, and you're gonna stay forever in my heart and on this Girl Tribe Wall of Fame. And now it's time to introduce you to my very first guest on the very first episode of Girl Tribe. She's incredible. She's the boss lady over at BuzzFeed India and an Instagram truth teller, the one and only awesome Rega Jha. We have something in common by the fact that we're both influencers, and I need the Girl Tribe to know this. It's like our lives are not perfect.
Yeah.
When did you realize I can't do this on social media anymore?
It was a screenshot of a DM that said, Rega, how are you so happy all the time? I'm giving off an impression of having my shit together in a way that I absolutely don't. Having this, being under this impression that they are acing it. People like me are just nailing it all the time while I'm, not being able to write as much as I want to, not happy with how my body looks, not able to get the routines that I want. I'm not able to do all the things I want to do, and it looks like everyone else does. There are days I'll see your story and I'm like, oh man, she's on vacation, perfect relationship, famous people, partying.
But first of all, I do not dress myself. I have a stylist. It's really not, if I had to dress myself all the time, I'd probably wear the same pair of clothes.
Fair enough.
Literally. And I don't even wear makeup mostly. There's something recently that you started doing on, especially your Insta story. You decided that you're going to express the new rules of beauty. And I have so much respect for that. But I also feel so bad about myself that I wouldn't be able to do it. You put up pictures of not having shaved your legs. What was the reaction?
the response felt like a lot of women around me sighing relief, being like, this is what my legs look like when I'm not, cleaning everything up to be in public. A lot of women replied saying, but I do this because I love it. The thing that makes me happiest is people DMing me pictures of their hairy legs. One of my male friends
Send
jokes,
her your hairy legs.
Send me all of your hairy legs. One of my friends jokes that, feminism is fine, but why are you making everyone ugly? Why is your big agenda to make all girls less attractive? I'm like, this is the problem. You think we're attractive when we've done 3 hours of prep to enter the world. Find us attractive like this. I dare you. The big fundamental change is just embracing authenticity and embracing this concept that I can be myself and people will be okay with it.
The other things I was talking about on the Girl Tribe, and I feel like kind of weird about it because I don't know why I'm squeamish about it, is this whole, so lately there's been this huge thing about talking about menstruation and having your period. And I'm like, why have I always hidden my pad when I ran to the bathroom, or someone, you hand each other a tampon like it's drugs. Nobody sees it.
And we have all these secret spy moves.
Ways,
my pocket to your pocket. No one will ever know. I still
remember once, I was carrying one and it, the tampon fell on the floor and it rolled across the office floor. Oh, no. And in my mind, it was now everyone knows I have a vagina. Everyone knows I'm bleeding. Yeah.
Now we are literally at a point where all the spare pads in our office are kept in one of my male colleagues' drawers.
That's awesome.
And he's like our college pad man. Anyone on their period goes up to him. He's like, can I have a pad, please? And he will literally ask you questions like, oh, do you want an organic one? Or do you want one of the, the soft pink ones? What flow is, what flow is yours?
Cool.
Yeah.
I actually asked the girls in the tribe and I said, have you felt this way? And what did they say? And so Pia Desai said, I've lived all over the world and come from a progressive family, but I would also be uncomfortable carrying pads and tampons openly. And then the most amazing thing is 90% of the comments had the opposite reaction.
Really?
So Aarti Jairaj said, not even a little bit. I mean, if we don't start talking about it, how can we leave the stigma behind? And she said, props to you, by the way, for using the menstrual cup. Yes. And then Komal Choksi said the best thing. She goes, I'm 42 now, but when I first got my period, I was probably 12 or 13. And what I do remember is that my mom sent my brother, who was 2 years older than me, to the pharmacy to buy me a sanitary napkin.
That's lovely.
And it's the smartest thing to do. It was a lesson for her and for her brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I got to ask you.
Yes.
Menstrual cups. Tell everyone what it is.
It's a tiny cup made of silicone or rubber, and you insert it into your vagina in order to contain your period blood.
Yeah.
And then it stays in there for 12 hours and it catches all your blood before it leaves you. And it is the best.
I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
fair enough.
Okay. Doesn't it, even tampons hurt. So does it not, is it not painful?
It's a little, here's what I've been telling everyone. If you want to use a menstrual cup, it means you have to be okay with getting in there.
Okay.
Two-hand missions sometimes.
But is it something that
it doesn't hurt though. So you have to boil it to sanitize it beforehand, and then you use it through your period, and you boil it again, you put it away.
You know how many aunties would keel over and
taking this thing into the kitchen?
That not only have you taken it into the kitchen, you have boiled it.
Yeah.
Okay, so question. Why talk about menstruation? What made you talk about your period?
There's this line that exists for women. There's who were allowed to be in private, and then there's who gets to enter the world. Her body is very important to society. People are obsessed with the female body, but can't actually grapple with a unsexualized, unstigmatized, unmoralized female body. I'm just on a crusade right now to blur the line of what womanhood is allowed in public and what needs to be kept in the parlor, in the ladies' room. Have you noticed the thing? You go to a bar, in the ladies' room, all the girls are fixing each other's straps. Getting your kajal, your lipstick.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're off stage.
Yeah.
The world is a stage
that's
for
the
women.
Green room
it's
situation.
The green room.
Wow.
The parlor is also the green room where we're not performing.
Yeah. So my mom is 75 and she said, when I was growing up, women had to be, if they had their period, they had to be in a room for 3 days, not meet anyone, eat inside, really unhygienic situations, and then let outside.
Yeah.
I feel like we've made so many leaps and bounds, but I even wonder today how many guys or even girls who are watching are comfortable with this.
I think people are uncomfortable with the behind the scenes of women's sexuality. What can you do to just let them know that women are people. That's all the battle is. You know, my dad, I've seen him get more and more progressive via following me.
Did they say anything about you posting about the menstrual cup?
They're very supportive. They are
Really?
very supportive, which I can't even imagine how, because it must be mortifying for an Indian
sure.
mom and dad. Be like, my daughter is saying vagina all the time. Let's get her off the internet. And it's so lovely to see the effect it has on men when you do start softening them and you know, make them comfortable with womanhood in all of its glory, because A, they are generally better to women, but also you see them become vulnerable and drop masculinity, which is the real poison of society, is like what men know about being men.
Okay, so what does this mean for everyone in the tribe and outside of the tribe if they want to start being real?
First, doing the work of realizing that all of you is fine. All of you is okay. All of you is allowed. We're allowed to be sloppy and ugly and messy.
The point is just be comfortable with being who you are at that moment. And if you feel like sharing, know that you can share everything. I will keep it real.
Yes.
All right, now I have a request for you. I'm going to ask you to make a pledge.
Okay.
I've got a pledge wall. You're the very first pledge to go on it. So I want everyone here to come and make a pledge about something that they're going to do. Just like you have started being real.
Yes.
And we're going to put it up on the wall so it's a reminder for me every day. So
Done.
make a pledge for me.
Done. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so curious what your pledge is. I wish I could.
It's not at all what we just talked about this entire time. It's not at all the same thing.
To be an uncensored woman. Hashtag no filter.
That's
Bam.
right. That's right.
That is awesome. Please do me the honor.
Yes.
Pin it up for me.
With this picture?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That is awesome. My very first pledge.
Thank you for letting me do this.
This is amazing, Rega. You have no idea. You know, I was so nervous about how the show is going to go, what it's going to be like, but you have made it absolutely perfect. The perfect
I had so
beginning.
much fun. I had so much fun.
Thank you so much for changing my life. Girls, you have made my life more meaningful because instead of scrolling through Instagram all night, now I go to the Girl Tribe and I spend time with you, and it means the world to me. So right after this, the spotlight's on you. As I said, scrolling through the Girl Tribe group every morning is the best start to my day. You know, there's so much there that's thought-provoking, insightful, inspirational, and positive. So I want to give you a few highlights, okay? I met some beautiful girls from our tribe at meetups in Goa and Bangalore, and it was amazing. Many more meetups coming up, so keep a lookout on the tribe. The tribe also pushes and motivates each other like crazy. Ridhima Wali says, let's use this group to push each other to fulfill our goals this year. And her goal is to complete her voice coaching course in the next 3 months. Good luck with that. Pragati Agarwal says that she wants to get her website done this year. And Jaya Jain says that she needs a grand piano as the centerpiece of her living room. I love that. And for me, you know, I want to write my second book, but I need some suggestions. What should it be about? Head over to the Girl Tribe and leave me a story topic, please. And I promise I'm going to give you credit. Nida Aziz shared this incredible article by Nikita Moore, which says, I hope you witness someone do something incredible. Anything which catches your eye, moves your heart, touches the depth of your soul, and awakens you. And you know what? I realized that's what the Girl Tribe is. We're witnessing each other's lives. We're watching each other live. And that's it for today. It's a wrap. What did you think? Be honest in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation alive. So I'm starting a thread on Malini's Girl Tribe asking what you would change about beauty standards for women if you could. Comment with your thoughts, ladies. I really want to know. So it's an all-girls group. You can join it on Facebook. It's called Malini's Girl Tribe. Until next week, keep spreading those good vibes.